Top 10 feel-good horror movies to watch during difficult times. Horror movies are the best when you're feeling down and just need an escape from reality. But in this day and age, we often come across films that are scary and have a deep meaningful message in them. What if I told you there's a subgenre of horror movies that have an upbeat message? Yup, there's a category of horror movies that will make you feel good and give you the motivation to fight against all odds. Those are the type of movies that you should watch when you're going through a rough patch. Those are the movies to watch when you're feeling blue and need a pick-me-up. These are not the only movies that we came up with, but they were our favorites. However, if you have suggestions of your own, please be sure to leave them in the comments section below. And before we dive into this countdown, let's test your knowledge with a quick trivia question. What is the movie on this list whose director has an Academy Award? A. It Follows. B. The Babadoo. C. The Descent Part 2. Hang in there to answer this movie trivia, and feel free to put your answer in the comments below. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. And here we go. Number 10, The Descent Part 2. The Descent Part 2 is a British-American horror film that John Harris directed. It is a sequel to the 2005 horror film The Descent. This sequel has a slightly higher budget than its predecessor, but is still very much a low-budget film. The Descent Part 2 was also nominated for an Academy Award in Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Number 9, I Am Legend. I Am Legend is an American post-apocalyptic action horror film directed by Francis Lawrence and starring Will Smith as the protagonist Robert Neville. It is based on the novel of the same name written by Richard Matheson. Though this film is not a horror movie per se, it has been categorized as one because it's still very much a thriller. The movie was also nominated for an Academy Award in the category of Best Visual Effects. Number 8, The Babadoo. The Babadoo is an Australian psychological horror film directed by Jennifer Kent and starring Essie Davis as Amelia Vanek and Noah Wiseman as Samuel Sam Vanek. It is based on the short story written by Kent in 2005 called Mr. Babadoo. The film was also nominated for an Academy Award in the category of Best Original Screenplay. Number 7, The Babysitter. The Babysitter is a 2017 horror film directed by MCG and starring Bella Thorne as Cole Davis, Samara Weaving as B, Robbie Amell as Max, Andrew Batchelor as Oscar, Christian Brune as Clint, and Peter Gallagher as Mr. Turner. The Babysitter is a Netflix original film that revolves around the story of two young boys who had a babysitter over one weekend, and they soon start suspecting her to be a threat to them. Number 6, The Strangers, Pray at Night. The Strangers, Pray at Night is an American horror film directed by Johannes Roberts and written by Brian Bertino, who also wrote The Strangers. This sequel to the 2008 film The Strangers stars Christina Hendricks and Martin Henderson in the lead roles. It was released on March 9, 2018 through Avalon Pictures. This sequel follows a family terrorized by three masked strangers while staying in their vacation home on a secluded mobile home park. This movie has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Sound Editing. Number 5, A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is an American thriller film directed by John Krasinski and written by Krasinski and Brian Woods and Scott Beck, with a story idea given to him by Woods and Beck. It stars Krasinski and Emily Blunt in the lead roles. This movie was released on April 6, 2018 through Paramount Pictures. It is about a family that is forced to live in silence because of creatures that hunt by sound. This film has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay. Number 4, Upgrade. Upgrade is an American science fiction action horror film directed by Lee Winnell and written by Winnell and James DeMonaco. It stars Logan Marshall Green as Gray, Michelle Morgan as Anna, Betty Gabriel as Mary, Harrison Gilbertson as Will, and Simon Maiden as Lee. This movie was released on June 1, 2018 through Blumhouse's BH Tilt banner. This film revolves around a technophobe who has his body replaced with an advanced artificial intelligence system after being attacked by two thugs. This movie has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. Number 3, The Ritual, 2017. The Ritual is a British supernatural horror film that was directed by David Bruckner and starred Raphael Spall as Luke, Robert James Collier as Hutch, Sam Troughton as Dom, Paul Reed as Greaves, Arshur Ali as the guide, and Robert James Collier as Hutch. This film revolves around four friends who embark on a hiking trip through Sweden to honor their friend Rob, who met his death during his holiday in the woods. The Ritual is based on the book of the same name written by Adam Neville. This movie has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Sound Mixing. Number 2, The Orphanage, 2007. The Orphanage is a Spanish psychological horror film that was directed by J.A. Bayona and written by Sergio G. Sanchez from his own original script and starring Belén Ruda, Fernando Cayo, Roger Princep, Laura Del Sol, Blanca Suarez, and Chet Lara as Laura in her debut performance. It was released on July 13, 2007 through Paramount Vantage. This movie has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film. This film revolves around Laura, who returns to the orphanage where she spent her childhood after inheriting it from her adopted mother, who had died there many years ago. Soon enough, strange things start happening at the orphanage, which makes Laura question whether her mother died there. This movie is a remake of the Spanish horror film El Fornato, The Orphanage, 2007. Before we get to number 1, let's take a look back at the trivia question from earlier. What is the movie on the list whose director has an Academy Award? A. It Follows. B. The Babadoo. C. The Descent Part 2. The answer is C. The film is produced by Academy Award winner Christian Coulson, Slumdog Millionaire. Christian Coulson of Slumdog Millionaire and Ivana McKinnon are producers, and Neil Marshall, Dog Soldiers, The Descent, is the director. The Descent Part 2 is a sequel to critically acclaimed horror film The Descent, which was released in 2005. The film has been shot in Glasgow and South Africa and stars Shauna McDonald as Sarah. Christian Coulson won the Oscar for Best Picture for Slumdog Millionaire. He also produced the critically acclaimed film The Queen. Now let's get back to number 1 in the list of top 10 feel-good horror movies to watch during difficult times. Number 1. The Visit, 2015. The Visit is an American found footage Ed Oxenbould as Tyler, who plays the role of her 9-year-old brother who visits their grandparents, Deanna Dunnigan and Peter McRobbie, in their home in rural Pennsylvania for the first time in 10 years. This movie has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Sound Mixing. This film revolves around Becca, who has never been on good terms with her. And there you have it, folks. These are the top 10 feel-good horror movies that are sure to put a smile on your face, even when you're going through some tough times. Agree or disagree? Feel free to leave a comment below. Also, be sure to subscribe, comment, and like this clip. We put out videos several times a week, so ring that bell to be notified when we post new content. Thanks for watching.